Okay, so we want to basically determine a probability distribution, and what you see, initially you guys are going to see it represented as a table like this one, where you have all possible outcomes, as you see here, all the possible outcomes. And this is a discrete probability distribution because these are all the possible outcomes and they're discrete outcomes, right? Finite whole numbers. And then, the corresponding probabilities. So instead of giving us the corresponding probabilities, which would make our probability distribution, we have to do it ourselves. So they gave us a frequency table. But we can always create a probability distribution table from a frequency table. It is very much the same as doing a relative frequency table from a frequency table. A local hospital kept records for the past year of the number of patients admitted to the ER for the flu. Convert the given information to a probability distribution. So basically find all these probabilities, which is exactly the same as finding all relative frequencies. So, but our calculator can do it a little bit faster for us. Again, it's preference too. It's not extremely long to do it by hand, but I'm going to show on the calculator because it's here. But the first thing that we would need to do is determine how many total days we're dealing with, right? So I added up my frequency column. When I did that, I got 365. So, check my numbers. Go ahead and do that yourself. You can pause the video and do it if you need to, but definitely try it. So 365 total. Let me write that down. I'm going to put it here. 365 total days. Okay, so that's basically the sum of my frequency column. So if you guys remember, and I'm just going to write it for the first one, if I want to find the probability for 0 patients, which is the same thing as finding the relative frequency for this particular class, all I have to do is take the amount of frequency, amount of days for that particular class, or the frequency for that class, and divide it by the total, and then convert it to decimal form. And I would continue to do that for the rest, and that's not a big deal. But if you want to use the graphing calculator, which I think Newton sometimes asks you to do, or you could do it every time if you want. I mean, whatever whatever you want. If you need the whole table, it's probably faster to do it by the calculator. If you need one particular row, it'll be faster just to do it this way, by hand. So anyway, whatever works, okay? So we go to our TI-84, and I already added up all the values, 365. Now I need to input my frequency table. So I need stat, and I'm going to go to edit. This is going to bring up my lists, and I already put them in. So if you guys want, you could pause the video and put your number of patients in list 1 and your number of days or your frequencies in list 2. And if you ever need to clear a list, if you have a list in there that needs to be cleared, scroll up, highlight that list, and clear, enter, okay? I want to make sure that you guys don't press delete. You scroll up till you highlight the top, L2 or whatever, L1, whatever it is that you want to clear, you press clear and then enter. Okay, and it should clear out the values in that list. So go ahead and pause if you need to input these, these things into your graphing calculator. So number of patients in L1 and then number of days or your frequencies in L2. We're going to use L3 to create our probabilities. So you need that clear as well if it's not clear, okay? Now, we're going to scroll over so that we can highlight L3 and press enter. And now you should see over here next to L3 equals, you should see that blinking. Okay, if that's blinking, that's what you want. Then we're going to tell it we want to take L2, so second and number 2, and we want to divide all the values in L2 by 365. And we want it to be put in L3. Enter, you'll see all these numbers pop up, and those are my relative frequencies, also known as probabilities for each of these particular classes, or in this case, patients. And then all you'd have to do is copy it down. 0.1014. Does it tell me how to round? I always check. If not, we'll go to 4. The next one is 0.0658, 0.063, 0.0575, and then 0.1534. And then the probability of 5 is, I can't see it, 0.0712. And then just input it if you need all of them. Only if you need all of them. 0.1233. This one 0.0712. And then 0.466 and then 0.1096. Okay, so by the way, if I did 37 out of 365, I should get the same thing as this. If I do 24 out of 365, I should get the same thing as this, and so on and so forth. So again, like I said, it's preference. Obviously, this did this very quickly. So if I need the whole table, it might be faster to use my TID4. But if I only need one of these, it's probably faster just to do it like that. But I can actually now ask any question. I could come up with a lot of questions from this. I can actually ask, what is the probability that I get exactly 3 patients? Probability of 3 is 0.0575. What is the probability that I get exactly 6 patients? Probability of 6 is 0.137. So, the nice thing about a probability distribution is that I have all the probabilities for each of these discrete cases. And I could do less than questions, greater than questions, or cases, all kinds of stuff from here. But all the probabilities are here, so it makes it a little bit nicer and easier. But this is a probability distribution. And then I want you to also double check that your probability column adds up to 1 because it should, right? Should represent the total sample space, which should be 1 or 100%. So that's it. Not too bad.